Welcome to Lawyers Who Care, the video show podcast that highlights attorneys who go above and beyond for their clients. And on each episode, we will meet a new lawyer and they will share stories of when they did go beyond legal counsel for the benefit of their client. My name is Andrew Samalin. I'm the principal of Samalin Wealth, a nationally recognized wealth management firm for lawyers, their firms, and their clients. And let's applaud lawyers who care and learn from them. Today, my guest is Ambika Sapra. Ambika is the co-founder and partner of Sapra Navarra. She is located in Newport Beach, California, and practices workers' compensation defense law. Welcome, Ambika.
Thank you, Andrew. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you. So tell us about you coming to the law.
Coming to the law, huh? That's. I wish I could tell you some interesting story where I had these great oratory or debating skills, and I used to convince my parents to give me whatever I wanted or persuade them to accept my argument. But nothing like that. I mean, I am from India, and I immigrated to the United States. I belong to this little town in the Himalayas. It's called Shimla, and it used to be the summer capital of the Britishers. It's really pretty. It's a beautiful town, hill station. We call them hill stations there. And in fact, it's snowing there right now, just like the area that you are in, Andrew, but obviously very hilly.
Ambika, thanks for rubbing it in, by the way.
I know. But snow is beautiful.
Yes.
Coming from a person who's right now sitting in 80 degrees weather in December.
Thank you. Thanks for hurting us.
Yeah, so came from there. I belong to a family of lawyers. My grandfather, my great-grandfather, my dad. And I came here to America, went through the ebb and flow of life, and decided to go to law school. Passed the bar, which I still, even after 25 years of practice, I feel so proud of passing the California bar. When it used to be 3 years, now it's 2 years. 3 days, now it's 2 days. So I still feel very proud of that. And then worked in a nice firm for about 2 years and wet my feet there, and then started my own firm with my partner, Albert Navarra. So that's how I came into law.
So that's interesting. So you were, I don't want to use the term newbie, but certainly new to the profession. And you chose, there were a couple choices that you made. The first was to start a new firm. And then the second was, did you tie your workers' comp focus at the same time, or was it linear? One came first, then the other?
Yeah, I never thought of that. I was a newbie when I started my firm. Usually people work in outside firms for several years and then they started. I guess I was naive and brave, the bravado of youth was there. So yeah, I started as a newbie, and I was when we opened our firm, we did a little bit of criminal law, we did some immigration, but initially when I worked for the other firm, for my first firm, it was workers' compensation, and by default, I think we just landed into workers' compensation again. It's also law is so specialized that to learn a different area of law, it requires time and it requires a lot of effort. And my partner and I already had a background of workers' compensation defense. So we fell into it very naturally and just took it from there. And since then, we do 100% workers' compensation defense. Now I've been practicing for about 25 years.
What's your favorite part about it?
About workers' compensation defense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's a really good question. And it's sort of a existential question. My favorite part, I think, is what we did with our firm. We developed this litigation strategy, and I'm not going to get into it. And the way it has helped several, layers of people using that strategy. And I'll give you an example. When I started practicing, it was all about me, what joy I derived from the practice of law. For example, I took a great deposition. That was great. Or, for example, I went to trial and, the judge agreed with my objection and he sustained it. So that was a high. But then a couple of years down the road, I started thinking that, what am I doing for my clients? How am I helping my clients, right? Because I'm not doing any area of law where I make a direct impact. For example, violence against women's rights, where you see a direct impact of what you're doing, or some kind of constitutional law. I'm doing corporate law, right? So what do I do to make an impact? And that's where we developed this strategy, this litigation strategy, and it had a threefold impact. And I'll explain it to you how. The first was on the carriers, because we represent carriers, workers' compensation carriers. The carriers, if they can, workers' compensation is a very huge cost in California. It's one of the biggest costs for employers, and it can make or break an employer. Many employers have to leave the state, they close down, they have to lay off people, they cut hours so that they can manage the workers' compensation costs. So if I can make a difference, make workers' compensation affordable for the carrier, the combined loss ratio is less, they can give affordable rates to the employers, which matters, right? The employers can afford workers' compensation insurance. So that was the first fold impact that the legal strategy that we developed had on the carrier. The second was on the employer. Employers are so important in California. California is the fifth largest economy in the world. So there are many, many, many businesses here. They need to stay alive. They need to have some kind of profit so that they can keep their workers. They can pay their workers fair wages. They can, give them raises. They are not laid off. Hours are not cut. That's a big thing. Hours are cut of employees because they have to balance the workers' compensation costs and the other costs of doing business. So if, again, the workers' compensation costs are affordable, they are manageable, they can give fair wages to the employees, and the employees can then become contributing members of society. They can buy homes, they can educate their children, they can buy things, and the economy goes on.
Yeah,
and then
it's interesting. It's a virtuous cycle.
It is a cycle. It's absolutely a cycle. And the third most important, I would like to make a point here, is on the injured worker. The strategy that we use, it benefits the injured worker, even though I am not representing the injured worker. I'm on the opposite side of the injured worker. And how it benefits is that most of these injured workers, when they get injured, they are contributing members of the society, right? They're in their 20s or 30s or 40s, and they have a long way to go in their work life. But once they get injured, somehow, because the system is such, it's an adversarial system, they get wrapped up in this litigation, the court system, the doctor system, the judges, the insurance companies, and they are kind of written off from the job market. So even though they have 20, 30 years of work life, constructive work life left that they can do, psychologically even, it has an impact on them where they think, I'm permanently disabled. In fact, that's an actual species of benefit in workers' compensation. It's called permanent disability. The injured worker gets that, a percentage of permanent disability when they're discharged by the doctors, but they feel, I'm permanently disabled. I'm not a contributing member of the society. So instead of keeping them in the system for 3, 4, 5, or even 10 years, some of these cases can go on for 10 years, give them the treatment that they need, give them the benefits, the injured workers, so that they get better. Most of these cases, workers' compensation cases, are cuts, burns, slip, falls. They heal in 4 months, right? 4 to 6 months. The human body is so resilient, we heal. The femur is the largest bone in the body, and if you break your femur, that heals in 6 months. So how come these poor injured workers, they are in the system for 3, 4, 5, or even 10 years? Give them the benefits, take care of them, give them the treatment, but get them quickly back to being productive members of society. Okay. So once I started thinking on these lines, that how I can benefit the carriers, benefit the employers, and most importantly, the injured workers, that's what I think that was your question. I've gone on a diatribe now, but that was your question. Why I like it. That's why I like it. Otherwise, in the beginning, I was disillusioned that I'm not really making a difference. But now I do feel it might not be a direct difference, but there is an indirect difference.
But it is interesting because the approach is somewhat more holistic, as opposed to, I don't want to use the term adversarial, but of course there are two sides. Right. Yours is more both circumspect and holistic.
Holistic, definitely.
Are those two correct words there, or would you use others?
No, those are absolutely correct words, especially holistic, as applied to the injured workers and how to get them back into the society as contributing members, productive members of society.
Right. So everyone watching, this is the Lawyers Who Care video show podcast. Today, my guest is Ambika Sapra of Sapra Navarra. Ambika is located in Newport Beach. She focuses on workers' comp defense. Ambika, for those guests that want to contact you, can you share your phone number or your email or any social twice, please?
Yeah, my telephone number is 866-384-4891, 866-384-4891. My email address is ambika, Ambika, at snworkcomp.com, ambika at snworkcomp.com, and I'm also on LinkedIn.
Wonderful. Everyone, this has been the Lawyers Who Care video show podcast. We highlight attorneys who go above and beyond. Ambika is certainly one of those, and we're so thrilled that you're here. If you're an attorney or know one that goes above and beyond, please call us 914-666-6600, 914-666-6600. Ambika, thanks so much again today, and enjoy the 80-degree weather.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Nice to see you again.
Bye-bye. Bye.